So the Pistons their hand was forced there. So this choice about Beasley, 3 years, $42 million was on the table for him to sign. Then they find out about the investigation. I'm not sure that they knew or didn't know prior to. I don't want to accuse anybody of anything. I find it hard to believe that they don't know. I think it's a known thing about him. I really and truly do. There's video all over the place of things that guy has done. He's apparently being investigated for his time in Milwaukee, but if you know anything about gambling, if you know anything about point spreads, if you know anything about betting, if you know anything about what happens at end of games and point shaving, there is very suspicious evidence out there. One of them is when he's with Minnesota Timberwolves. You can find it on my YouTube at PB Sports Talk, and you can find it on X at PB Sports Talks, where the other team's at the free throw line, and he's kind of looking around, and there's like, I don't know, 4.5 seconds or something like that, and the game is already determined. It's like an 8.5 point spread, and it was a 9-point game, and when what make or miss, you inbound the ball or you rebound the ball. Typical standard is the NBA just lets the clock run out. You don't do anything, whether you have the ball offensively and with the lead or the other team that's losing. And he takes it coast to coast to go dunk it, and he gets it just inside the number. So the Pistons their hand was forced there. You have to pull that deal, obviously, off the table. That changed the thinking. Obviously, the deal was ready. You're going to bring him back. That changes the thinking. So you had to make different decisions, and I think it's all but certain that there's no possible way. I don't see it. I think the Feds invest. I know Rozier just got proved of no wrongdoing. I guess it was proved that he didn't do anything. Again, I don't want to accuse anybody, but it's pretty clear about Beasley. And now all of his financial things are coming out. He's had $49.6 million in career earnings. That's a real number, give or take 100,000. That's a career earnings for Malik Beasley, about 49.6. Let's say you pay 4% out to agent fees, and after tax, I did the math yesterday, it was like 22 million to him. He's 28 years old. He's only been in the league 6 years. It appears that all that money's gone because he was taking advances on money on future earnings, and he's getting sued now. One is for 2.25 million plus legal fees, and there's others, hairstylists, and there's all sorts of things that are coming to light now. And it kind of is, the pieces are adding up, and I think that there's a lot there. And investigating him for Milwaukee, but there's also Minnesota and Detroit, and I'm just afraid that things are going to come out. And it's really sad. It's a sad story. I used to cover this about sports athletes and how so much wealth is blown. I mean, that's $50 million gross money, not including any endorsements. And he basically, it sounds like, again, I don't want to accuse him. I don't know all the details, but basically blew through the money in one way or another. And it looks like he was trying to recoup. And you wonder if it was worth it. With 3 years and $42 million, $14 million a year, you basically are going to match your career earnings with 1 3-year deal. Again, take away the attorney fees, take away the taxes and stuff. It's basically another $18 to $20 million. So you would have had basically $91 million in career earnings, not including any endorsements. And I'm not aware of what any endorsements he may have had. It's likely he didn't have any, and if there were, they were small. Maybe autograph signings and things like that. However, it's really sad to see, and he forced the Pistons' hand. I wish Malik well, if it is what they say. Boy, I hope it all works out for him. But that's a really sad thing, and I'll be honest, because I know a lot about the space, and I know that basketball is basically the easiest game to point shave. I mean, there's one play, I'll just say this, there's one play where he's out playing defense, and he, clear as day, is not defending and letting the player go right around him for two. It's easy to manipulate. That was obvious. What other thing he did was obvious. There's one floating out there with who is it on Golden State? Gary Payton Jr. sitting next to Steph Curry, and you can tell what they're talking about, and you can tell what happened on the play. Again, I'm speculating. It's not for sure, but it sure looks bad, and it sure looks obvious. And the line was such that there needed to be a score by the other team. The free throw was missed. Guy comes down. Basically, nobody defends him. He hits a three, and it changes the line, and he's shocked. He's absolutely shocked, and they're laughing it up. And he's shocked in a way that appears to be positive. So it's a really, really bad deal. It's too easy to do. It's very difficult to monitor. They're finding out from Vegas when things change, and there's huge sums of money. But if guys, again, I'm not condoning this, and I'm not in any way trying to tell people how to do this. Like, I've never done this, but it's common sense. If you don't go big, then it's never going to register. And it can be done on small levels, and no one will ever be the wiser. You have any kind of organization, somebody eventually is going to talk, somebody's going to get pissed, somebody's going to maybe rat. But if you want to do it on the low, I mean, and you're not swinging millions of dollars, or you're seeing these crazy amounts of money being bet that's flagging the system in Vegas and changing the line by points, 2 points, 3 points, and props. It's so easy. Like, I know a lot about props. It's so freaking easy to get one less rebound, one more rebound, one less assist. There's so many things there to track that you can do multiple props or multiple wagers, and no one's the wiser if you want to do it on a low thing. I mean, these guys can walk away with an extra 10, 15, 20, 30 grand per game. 80 games is another couple $1 million. Again, I am not condoning this. I am not saying for sure anybody's doing it, but it sure looks suspicious. And I think the whole Tim Donaghy thing, from a referee's perspective, you certainly can alter the game from a ref's perspective. You can definitely, I won 5 free throw championships as a coach. I guess if I went up there and I started clanging every single one, it would be kind of obvious, and you got to look at who the player is, and you can't do it all the time. But you could do one here or there and go from an 85% shooter to an 80% shooter, or a 90% shooter to an 80% shooter, without people making too much of a notice of it. So Pistons did the right thing, pull the offer and let it play out. Maybe he comes back if they find it where he's squeaky clean. I just don't see how it is. I think there's kind of too much evidence there.